Opa! Oh, welcome everybody back to Stavvy's World. We're here. What a beautiful day. We got my boy Phil Hanley.
What's up, Stavvos? I'm stoked.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
In here.
Yeah. You're basically you're in Greece right now. You're basically
reminds me of Corfu.
Yeah. You're in Corfu, dude. You're in here. You're in Santorini. 904-800-STAV. Everybody, you know the drill by now. Call in if you want to leave a voicemail. We've got super producer Eldis looking fucking gorgeous today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fresh cut. How many haircuts do you get in a month now?
Well, I just got the one in Costa Rica, and then I got this one like over the weekend.
That's
treat myself for the birthday.
Beautiful head of hair.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody on this podcast has pretty good hair. So that's a haircut. What's so fun? Don't fucking do that. Don't you use my own fucking soundboard against me, you fucking prick. Don't forget who you work for. That's good though. I want you to be a haircuts every fucking, you know what I mean?
I know. It's been so big and like crazy like the last 2 years. I just kind of want to keep it tight for a little while.
Yeah.
Eldis.
Yes. There you go.
That was a tough one for our pal dyslexic Phil.
I have dyslexia, and certain names I feel are cruel to I feel like your parents are being mean-spirited to me. But Eldis, that's a very traditional Albanian name.
It's not traditional. It's actually, this is what's awesome. It's literally two women's names mashed together.
Really?
It's his mom and his grandma's name.
Okay.
My mom and my grandma's name.
El and Dis.
Yeah. Elmira and Yaldis.
Yaldis.
Okay.
So
Yaldis nuts.
There you go.
Take that, grandma. Fucking bitch.
Rest in peace, grandma.
She's in heaven sucking on my nuts. Damn, hold on. The garage door guy's calling. This will be good for the pod.
I can really run with this.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it?
Daniel, garage doors. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Buddy, I cannot make it today. Can we do first thing tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we could do tomorrow morning. What time you thinking?
Around 9 o'clock?
Yeah, we can do 9. Perfect.
Okay, great. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you then.
Thanks.
Oh, fucking piece of shit. I've had a fucking You're really letting the fucking. You're really letting it fly, man. Motherfucker. You fucking prick.
Albanian Independent Day.
Yeah. When is Albanian Independence Day?
It's like the Saturday right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
October.
I don't know why it's that one.
What happened? What did you guys do?
We don't do shit for it.
But what's the lore?
Yeah.
Who did you get independent from?
I really don't know.
You're a fucking piece of shit. You don't know shit.
Fuck you.
I know exactly what happened on Greek Independence Day. We told those Ottoman cocksuckers, suck our fucking dicks. We're taking this country back under the banner of God and not Muhammad. Maybe this is not the best way to start a YouTube video. we keep getting demonetized on YouTube and maybe saying the Greek God is better than the Muslim one is not correct. It refers to the Albanian Declaration of Independence on the 28th of November and the raising of the Albanian flag in Vlora by Ismail Kemali.
Yeah.
Coinciding with the day in which Skanderbeg raised the same flag in Kruzje on November 28th, 1443. Get the fuck out of here. 1400s. Those fucking medieval medieval fucking Slavs. You don't know who the fuck Skanderbeg was, dude. He's probably Greek, honestly.
Sounds good.
If you think about it.
So you guys met in kindergarten. Were you fresh from Albania?
He was.
That was pretty fresh, yeah.
Really? Wow. That must be wild just to arrive in another country.
It was crazy. I was like 3 years old.
Uh-huh.
But we were like sponsored by a church in Greece and a church in Baltimore. We were like selected in a lottery from Albania.
Really? Wow.
Of like sponsored immigrants to like come here.
It was really meant to be for him to become a producer on this podcast.
Yeah. Do you want to plug the sponsor?
Damn, what was that church called? I don't even remember.
The odds are hilarious of you getting right here. Your family had to win that. We were in the same preschool class. We had to hit it off.
Yeah.
Did you guys hit it off out of the gates?
No.
His little bitch ass hated me.
First of all, everyone hated you.
No.
You were foreign as shit. You were coming through. He was coming through in these thin little Power Rangers pajamas. You could see his cock.
Really? No one wearing Power.
We were getting like pajama shorts, and I would like just wear those to school, like some fresh off the boat shit.
Is that part of the sponsorship? You would get, they give you like, is that when did you arrive and they're like, this is how Americans dress?
No, it was just like shopping at Ames, and parents were like, this is cute.
Yeah.
You should wear this to school.
And we were all whispering like, fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's wearing pajamas.
I was so aloof. I don't think I even realized like you guys hated me.
You had no
or
idea.
something.
You had no idea.
I mean, I barely knew English.
Yeah, that was another thing. This was pure xenophobia.
Yeah.
And also, in a school full of poor foreign kids, Eldis was the poorest and most foreign.
Oh,
so it was like we all kind of shit on him. But you know what? He learned some English. He put on some fucking jeans. And then we respected him in kindergarten.
I feel bad, like when I feel like because when someone moves to a brand new, like it's crazy to go to a new school.
Yeah,
I would have to go to new schools because I was in special ed sometimes. So like and that sucked. But I can't imagine a whole new country, you know, when people don't wear pajamas to school.
It wasn't that crazy for me because I was so young. But I think about like
your sister.
It's crazy.
I think about
my
your
sister. My sister a little, but my parents they came here when they were like 40 and couldn't speak English at all, and that seems a lot more fucked up.
That's
than,
true. That's true.
3 years old and coming here.
Yeah, but you're an adult though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's still crazy.
You got your
like
kids.
America,
Yeah.
When all you know is like communist Albania.
Oh, I didn't know Albania was communist.
Yeah, they had to get used to not eating dirt burgers.
Were they so happy?
The Albanian.
Were your parents are your parents super patriotic now?
No.
Okay.
No. Recent immigrants do not like America.
Is that true?
If you came in the 80s or later, it's like fuck America. We're here because our country also sucks, but fuck America. That's kind of the feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
At least my family's like my dad. He came here in the 80s. He's like, if you came in like the 40s and shit like that.
Yeah, because tons of people were coming at that point, right?
And they all like learned English and assimilated and just like, especially like a white ethnic group, they were so happy to just become white Americans. Whereas if you came later, there was almost like a choice to coming here, or you were brought here by family, or it was like, it wasn't as dire, right? You weren't escaping like a war or something. Yeah. You were just moving here because like your cousin, had a restaurant. And you were like, fuck it, I'll come. And then you got sucked in.
Is that what inspired your dad?
My parents came here in theory to leave. Their plan was we're going to live in America for a year and save money. And
then go back to Greece?
And go back to Greece.
Wow.
And they've just been here for, at this point, over 40 years.
Okay, really saving up.
And they haven't been doing too good on that saving money part either.
My dad was like very liberal in Albania, and he was like anti-communist and shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like, in America, like, it's just so hard, and, capitalism is like so hard.
Yeah,
and I don't think like he fully like realized just like what it means. Like, I don't know, like, everything is a little more clear. You see the positive parts like in retrospect. And
in Albania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, communism's pretty bad because they might just like kill you or your family member.
There's
a rumor that they're gay, but
that's a big con. Yeah. If you're caught kissing another man, you might get an AK to the back of the head. But you are gonna have some bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the flag looks cool.
The flag does. It does piss me off how cool the Albanian flag looks.
Yeah.
But good branding, shit product.
That is a badass flag, man.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
The two-headed phoenix, I call it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
What do you
eagle.
call it?
The double
Two-headed
eagle.
eagle.
Two-headed eagle. Okay.
So you've never come into contact with any other Albanians in your life?
Well,
Vancouver. You grew up in Vancouver.
I grew up I grew up in Ontario, just outside of Toronto.
Oh, okay. I just pictured you as a Vancouver.
I started comedy in Vancouver, and my family lives in Vancouver now. So when I go home now, it's Vancouver. But
interesting.
Yeah, but I started from.
So they also moved after you.
I moved. Yes, my parents retired quite young, and I moved to Europe. They moved to Vancouver, and then when I came home, they were there.
Oh, so you said fuck it.
Yeah.
West Coast.
Yeah. And then I started comedy there.
Okay. So Toronto, though, you must have seen tons of Greeks at least.
My sister growing up, her best friend was Greek.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. And so I knew that family.
Yeah. Diner culture extends there.
Yeah, I don't
restaurant culture.
Yeah, I don't.
Greeks have restaurants.
They were in. They like the mom was like a stay-at-home mom, and the dad was in like he was like a like trucker. Is that a Greek thing?
Yeah. I don't think so. But,
really?
That's pretty cool. But it is a Greek thing that even though you're a trucker, you're like, my wife will not work. It's like, God forbid she gets a job. Probably back then, yeah.
Did your mom work?
She did when it got, at first it was like, oh, I'm kind of bored. Let me pick up a couple things here and there. And then very quickly, my father could not run a business. And then it was like, she was a waitress. She didn't work while we were little kids. And then once we got to be like, in middle school, she was like, fuck it. And she started working 2 jobs. It was kind of crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, waitress, and she would repair Oriental rugs.
No way.
She's nice with it. Yeah.
Wow.
If you have a fucked up rug that you need repaired, talk to my mom.
Okay. Let's. I'll get her deets after this.
Yeah. I'll give you her number. So no Albanians though in Toronto.
I don't know. My big thing with Albania was there was an episode of Cheers where they sang. The song about Albania.
Yeah.
And Eldis. Fucking,
you tried to bond with him pre-show.
I was like, oh, Albania. I was like, I'm in. Here we go.
The Cheers Albania song. Coach sings. Oh, Coach, wasn't he in only 1 season?
He did pass.
Hi, guys.
But huge shout out to Albania.
You can learn about anything in this world if you'll just follow my little trick. Got it? Okay. All right. Albania. Here, Albania. Or should we say Albania?
Why'd you say it like that?
We learn our facts by associating countries with music.
Wow.
Why?
You want to study alone?
No. No.
Can you pause it for a second, and I'll tell you how effective this method is.
Yeah.
It goes Albania, border the Baltic Ocean. Is that correct? And then he goes, I remember this from, I haven't seen this in years.
Yeah.
This is really,
let's see.
Numbers
Phil,
are going to
what you remember.
And your greatest export is grain.
Bang. All right, let's see. Let's see, did he get it right?
Albania, Albania, you border on the Adriatic.
The Adriatic. He said Baltic.
Eldis agreed with me. He nodded.
He's fucking stupid. Yeah. He doesn't know shit. All right, let's try grain.
Okay,
let's see if Phil can go 1 for 2 here.
Mountainous, and your chief export is chrome.
Chrome. You're 0 for 2. What the fuck? You make up 2 different ones.
Who would think there's no export? Who would? Well, okay.
You knew the melody. You knew the melody. Yeah.
And also Adriatic and Baltic. Yeah.
No, buddy. Sorry, it was Adriatic.
Chrome. Who would think chrome though?
Yeah, you're right.
Can you export chrome?
I thought it was like salt or something.
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And we've talked way too much about Albania.
Way too much.
I'm making an executive decision. No more Albanian talk for the rest of the podcast. Yeah. This has gone on way too long. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned.
I'm glad Stavros said something.
Dude, honestly, I do. I like Canada though. I do. That's a pleasant ass place to grow up, I would assume.
I was just home. I went home after Christmas and I was like, I'll spend a week with my family, and I was there for 5 weeks.
Wow.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Vancouver. Did you play Vancouver?
I have. I like Vancouver a lot.
It's so It's so from going from New York. Like those 2 cities complement each other.
Yeah.
But goddamn, yeah, it was nice, man.
I love Vancouver. It's a real because it's it's the west coast of Canada for you ingrates that don't know your geography.
Yeah.
So it has a little bit of that like Seattle, that kind of Pacific Northwest vibe.
Yes.
But also I love how much Chinese shit you guys got over there.
Yep.
You got great Chinese food.
Yep.
People that are like 5th generation Chinese, but like just don't have any connection to it's really interesting to just see, because like when you grow up on the East Coast, and it's like most immigrants have been here like a generation or 2.
Yeah.
They have some connection. Vancouver has like such an old, and like I guess Canada didn't treat the Chinese as bad as America did.
I don't know.
Maybe slightly better, although probably just not that. Still probably not good.
Whenever I make a statement, if I agree with you or disagree, it's like something that blows. People just go on YouTube and it's like a million. Like my uncle. I'm like, I don't really know. I mean, I thought Albania bordered on the 80. I don't even know there is a. Anyways, but
Either way,
possibly. I mean, I'm sure.
I could be going off of one person I know.
The Vancouver is cool that there are like different communities and there are different cultures. Like my hometown is Oshawa, and it was like there was like my sister's one Greek friend, and that was like it for like multicultural. From my experience growing up there, but for sure, there's a big like Asian population.
The dumplings are out of control.
Great dumplings.
The fucking Beijing duck is out of control. I love it over there.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm realizing it now. I'm mostly talking about the Chinese food is what I like about Vancouver.
The bummer
I don't really know much else.
There's great Japanese restaurants.
Yeah.
Stanley Park in the middle of it's like a rainforest in the middle of the city.
You know what? I've had some great sushi as well.
Okay.
So not just Chinese, also Japanese.
Have you ever taken a lover in Vancouver?
I have, yes.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Pretty cool. Both, I think I've hooked up with somebody from Vancouver, not in Vancouver, and then I've also hooked up with someone in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
From Vancouver, and both A+ experiences.
Really?
I'll say. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? I had a couple Bs that were pretty good too. Now that I think about it, but that was more in the suburbs. There's that club that's in the suburbs of Vancouver.
Yeah.
You know, some fun experiences there as well.
Do you find?
I guess I fucked a lot of Vancouver.
It sounds like
a lot of Vancouver adjacent people.
Yeah, we might have crossed swords.
That would be great. A true honor.
Do you feel there's some city? Are there cities that you go back to? You always meet someone cool, and you always like.
Yeah, well, yes. There's definitely cities that I just enjoy the vibe of. I mean,
what about a city where you're like, every time I come here, I meet like a really cool woman.
Yeah,
we have like a great weekend together.
Are you politely asking if there's certain cities where I get more pussy?
Yeah.
Or do you mean the actual connection thing?
I was gonna say. I was gonna
fully
say make
mean it?
love.
Make love.
But, no, is there like a city that you go to where you're like, this is crazy every time
I was riding a hot Boston streak for a while.
Oh shit!
I was like dating back to when I opened for Bobby. I was like not headlining. I was featuring.
Yeah.
Dating back 7 years, I was like 8 for 8.
When you're opening for someone and you meet someone and you get laid in the city, it is wild.
It's the best
because it's just not. You know what I mean? You're basically like you kind of feel like the headliner's butler.
Yeah. Their butler.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
so you're the butler.
Yeah.
And then they like, live in this mansion and you're like,
But what you find out very quickly is if you strike within a half hour of a show happening, even the feature is famous for that half hour.
Oh,
you know what I mean? There's like conditional fame.
Yeah.
And the earlier you are in comedy, the quicker it is. Like there was one time where I literally there's Laugh Boston, right?
Yeah.
And that you've been to that club?
I played it in August. It was great.
Great club.
Yeah.
It's in the hotel.
Yeah.
I literally
nice hotel too.
Nice
man.
hotel.
Yes.
You have your own room.
Yeah.
There's the bar next to the club in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
There's a weird Irish bar.
Like part of the club?
No, it's a part of the it's like an Irish bar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyway, this is how quickly I had to act because I knew I'm only famous for like a half hour. So this girl is she's smoking outside.
Yeah.
I smoke a cigarette with her, whatever. Go to the bar. Her friend is trying to cock block, but my hotel is literally here.
Yeah.
I pitch her. I'm like, you want to just go to my hotel real quick? I fucked this girl. Her friends are still getting drinks.
Really?
They think she's like...
They're waiting on an order.
Yeah, they don't know where she went. She might be shitting. They don't know where she is.
Yeah.
I just fucked her within that time frame. And then she went back downstairs to her friends.
It'd be funny if her friends actually thought she was shitting.
Yeah.
Like fucking Vanessa with this fucking...
Lactose intolerant. We told her not to get the fucking milkshake.
Whenever she has a Guinness, I swear to God.
But yes, Boston for a while.
That's wild. So you, after the show, is this in between shows?
This is after last.
Okay. Have you ever got laid in between a show?
Wow, that's next level. I've never done that.
No, nor have I, man.
No, fuck.
I haven't even it's never even crossed my mind. I'm thinking about it now, but before that.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who has? Either of you?
Probably Mark.
I've heard. Yeah, I have heard tales, not specifically about him, but I have. I'm sure
for sure
it happens.
Well, here's the thing: we do comedy at a time where it's really not like now. It sort of has some weird cultural relevancy, but like for the most of our careers, stand up sucks and no one gives a fuck about it.
Yeah,
and like in the '80s, those guys were getting sucked off left and right. Like I bet you Dice was getting his dick sucked. I bet you Eddie Murphy could fuck whoever he wanted, you know, during a Raw or whatever. Even like now, even like headliners, I doubt are like, you know, every headliner's like a guy with a family at this point. Everybody who's doing arenas, they're not the kind of guy, you know what I mean? There's no young arena acts.
Doing arenas for the kids.
Yeah.
You know, put some food on the table of my Albanian children. Those fucking Power Ranger pajamas don't buy themselves. You know?
But yeah, so anyway, I did snap the Boston streak because the last time I was there, it was right after I filmed the special, and it was more of just me and Eldis hanging out, kind of taking our little victory lap. Nice. One time I even got pussy. You know, I was in a walking boot. I had fucked my foot up. So Boston was really treating me nice, man. I got it. Shout out to Hey, Wilbur Theater, we're coming.
How did you to copulate? Yeah, in a walking boot. Did you take that off?
I got my dick sucked with it on.
Oh, okay.
And I believe the boot stayed on.
That'd be funny if you tried to take it. It was just like a fetish. You tried to take it off. She's like, no. She hands you a neck brace.
Yeah. I think it stayed on now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in Boston and I saw your poster for the Wilbur. What a fucking great headshot.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Made me feel good inside.
Yeah, that's one of the best pictures of me ever taken, and I'll be running into the ground.
Matt Salacuse?
No, Steph Fleming, a friend of ours in LA, great fucking photographer, incredibly
great
talented.
shot, man.
Yeah, he fucking nailed it. What about you? You got a city? Where do they fuck with Phil?
I don't. You know, when I'm on the road, I'm so like. Do you drink when you're on the road?
I used to. I'm not so much anymore.
Yeah,
yeah. What do you do?
I know. I'm more likely to have I'll have if I'm in town doing spots, I'll have a drink afterwards or whatever. But when I'm on the road, I feel like I'm always fucking exhausted.
Yeah. Nice.
Dyslexic.
Yeah. Just tell him. That took a lot out of Phil. Reading
good
that.
Lord, I got a migraine.
Eldis typed Phil, Mike a little lower.
Yeah.
And Phil was panicking. I could see his eyes.
He typed it 25 minutes ago. I just got to the end of the sentence. No, so I feel like I don't do much.
Yeah.
I don't do much, but I've met.
What about even not on the road? Just you're traveling to a city. Is there a city where you get where you're their type?
I've met I would say West Coast stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I love I love San Francisco, so maybe I'm just more friendly or whatever. But I've met a girlfriend that I had for years in San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah.
The other one for me is probably Portland. I've discussed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've only played Portland.
I also feel like if a town fucks me, they're not gonna fuck you as well. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like there's some about me that if I'm their guy, you're not their guy.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah,
and vice versa.
When I've played Boston, and I've never even got a DM.
Yeah.
I've had good shows too. I've had good shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's like, I had a BJ. I'm like, I haven't got a DM.
Yeah.
I guess
there's not a lot of overlap in our Venn diagram of who fucks us.
Yeah, maybe if you got laid in San Francisco.
A little bit, but that I knew it was more of like I had been DMing with somebody who lived there.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I fucked anybody but that girl there. I'll have to think.
I don't think I have a town. It's not that I go to San Fran. I just know that I've met women that I met. Someone I dated for
There's some
years.
Nice magic in San Francisco.
I just love San Francisco too. I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan, and that's their home turf.
Yeah, because you're a big acid boy as a child,
as a young man.
As a youth.
I probably Did you take acid in high school?
A little bit in high school, more in college. And
really?
Yeah.
Where did you go to college?
I went to college at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Oh shit! Okay.
Really shitty school.
That's a lot of words on a sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not a shitty school, but it's one of those like lower rung.
Okay.
In a university system.
All right.
University of Maryland's the big one.
Yeah.
And then University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Okay.
It's not that good, but it gave me a scholarship, so I was like, I'll go there.
A scholarship in what? School, academics?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, you must have been great
Back
in high school.
Day, I was good at getting good grades. I was good in school.
Okay. I was not.
Yeah. Dyslexic as hell.
So I was, and I didn't, like, I was like really good in math, but because I was dyslexic, that was in like special ed for like English and shit, they would just put me in like the slowest math
They wouldn't
class
even
too.
bother
It
to
was
give you good math.
It was crazy, dude. They wouldn't let me join the band. We got to 7th grade.
Oh
we
my
get to
God.
7th grade, and I've been in special ed. I've been like in and out of these schools. And the heartbreaking part was I'd go to special ed, and one of my special ed classes, we started learning Christmas carols in like fucking September. Like it's like the worst.
They're like, give him plenty of leadway.
Yeah. It's not. So we start like we didn't learn shit. So it was like torture.
Yeah.
And it takes short bus, and we didn't learn anything. And then so my parents would take me out and put me in regular school again, and I would think I was cured.
Right.
I would be walking to class like, yeah, man. And then like within like 3 weeks, I was like, I didn't even know if they're speaking English anymore.
Oh,
Like it was
man.
just fucking
So
crazy.
you just couldn't read at all.
No.
I saw the special, very funny.
Oh,
Go
thanks.
check out Phil's special, everybody.
Ooh La La on
Ooh La
YouTube.
La on YouTube. But you talk a lot about about dyslexia and how it's just kind of like, you're just a little ass kid, and it's like, damn, I just straight up can't read.
Yeah, it was
like everyone's starting to read, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, like kindergarten was cool. Like socially, I was always like good.
Yeah.
And they're fine. And then then like the first grade, like right out of the gates, there's like spelling tests and shit, and it would be like. It was it was just like the rug was completely pulled out. I was just like, what the fuck? Because I'd been able to do everything all along.
You were nailing squares and
just,
shapes and colors.
But like it was like
all the kindergarten shit.
You kids are finding gum on the playground and eating it, and I knew like don't do that. Like you know what I mean? Like that's And then first grade they were just like it was like bad news, man. And then so I just couldn't all through school. I just
That's
didn't.
crazy that they just. That's insane that they just put you in straight up special ed. Dude. So you're there with like wildly disabled kids.
Yeah, so they would put me in special ed, and then 1 year, 7 and 8. So 7 arrives. I'm like, can't read. They got me in this like funky math, and also math all of a sudden started having words. So I was really good at math. Then all of a sudden they're like, let Ek represent shit. Yeah. And then I'm like, fucking can't spell represent, and they would mark it wrong. My mom in 3rd grade, we had to like name the provinces in Canada.
Yeah.
And for me to spell a word is like at the time I had no association with letters and sounds and shit.
Yeah.
So I would draw. So I could draw like Alberta, and it would look pretty fucking close.
Wow,
you know what I mean?
Draw it,
but it wouldn't be spelled. But I would just try to like emulate the shapes. And my 3rd grade teacher was like, we can't, like, he just gave me 0. And my mom's like, well, he knows where Alberta is. You know what I mean?
That's something.
Yeah, like that's the shape, and that's what it. And it's so clear that I was like, you know what I mean? It was like when you look at like, when they're like a wanted poster, and it's like the sketch and then the actual photo. It was that close.
Yeah, you were
know what I
there.
mean? Like that's the guy.
That's also way more impressive for a little kid to draw.
Yes.
Like if you were to tell me to draw Mississippi,
yes,
and I couldn't spell it, but I could draw it, I'm much more like impressed by drawing.
Well, the mind, like how much effort it takes to memorize like what the shape of these words were, and that's all I was doing. So, and then would just give me 0, and then like science, you're like hypothesis, you fucking serious, man? And then couldn't spell that. So yeah, I got fucked. But anyways, in the 7th grade, I was in special ed with kids with more serious
severe learning disabilities. Yeah.
And then we had a teacher, and then the teacher's assistant was married to the other special ed teacher, and his class was even more severe.
Wow.
Disabilities. So they're catering to those kids. So I would go to school. I hated it and didn't learn anything because obviously the kids that were struggling more needed more attention.
They're like, all right, we're gonna work on not shitting our pants this
Like,
unit.
it was
like,
yeah, like
Phil,
it was,
good job. You're on a 100-day don't shit your pants streak.
So I hated school, and it was a fucking like it felt like such a waste.
You could have been doing whatever.
Absolutely, man.
And that pushed you right in the arms of psychedelics.
Psychedelics. I think that's why I don't get laid in Boston. It's a big college town. A lot of readers, Eldis. So then like I took acid when I was really young because I don't know. I started, and I felt.
So who are your friends when you're like you're in special ed?
Yeah.
You're not hanging out with the other special ed kids.
No.
So
I had kids because I was social. But I tell you, one time I was in 7th grade I was in 8th grade, and I was going to high school parties. I'd met older friends.
Yeah.
And I remember this kid in 8th grade, and I was at we bought grease, hash oil.
Okay, yeah.
And we didn't have rolling paper, so we were doing like streamers. Do they have those in Baltimore? You just take like the oil, you put it in a safety pin, then you scrape it on the amber, like the hot part of the cigarette, and then you put it in a bottle, like a BT.
Whoa.
Do they do that? I don't know.
No,
do they do
we
that,
don't do that
in America?
We do not do
What
that.
about Albania? No more. No, you can't tell us. So
yeah.
So anyways, we were doing that. And this
So wait,
kid-
I'm sorry. You would light the hash oil
Yeah,
with
Are
a
you just
cigarette.
describing like a makeshift dab thing, basically?
You take a marble. This is like a Canadian thing.
Okay.
I guess you take a marble, you put it in a beer bottle, and you go bang like that. Or you can use a dime. And
Never
you bang,
heard of this.
And you bang it against your shoe, and it would make a perfect hole.
Wow. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
a perfect hole in the beer
and you
bottle.
Would smoke
you
the...
put something in the top of the beer bottle, like tissues, or you could just use your thumb, and then you would put hash or hash oil on the end of the cigarette, and then you would watch it so it just burned there, and then you would do a bottle top. So
and it would fill the smoke up, kind of like a
the
gravity
bottle would fill
bomb.
with,
Interesting.
But that's like that when I was
That's
a kid,
a feat of engineering.
but that was the go-to way
When you're 12.
BTs, yeah. So I was at a high school.
You're already starting with a, let's say, 50% brain.
So
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
You're already 1/4 retarded.
I know. Yes.
It's like,
Well,
let's go hash oil out of a beer bottle.
Yeah.
While you're
Before
developing.
your skull's fully hardened.
Yeah. You can't read,
So I
but you
remember-
know how to do that.
I know how to do.
I'm smart. You do it.
Yeah.
You do it, teacher.
You get high without rolling papers, motherfucker. Solve my problems. So I remember doing that at a high school party, and this kid came up to me and was like, my older brother saw you at a party and you weren't even smoking hash right or whatever. And I was like, tell your dumb fucking brother we were doing BTs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started, and then I took acid.
Nice.
And
we're talking, what, 13, 14?
Yeah. And it was just the bat, like it just agreed with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
so fun. But there was like a stigma to it. And like my friends,
Oh, for sure. Back in the, like, it's kind of opened up now. Either it's opened up now or I don't give a fuck because my life doesn't matter. But back then, acid was like a little, like a step up, somewhat less dangerous than heroin. Oh, but it was in that zone.
Oh, yeah. It was like now. People, when you're like, an acid taker, you picture some woman in like a Lululemon tracksuit and Ugg boots. You know what I mean?
I'm microdosing.
Yeah, and I'm like, your mom was quite judgmental when I was fucking macrodosing in 8th grade.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Now it's like,
course.
whatever.
Of course, it's
Gwyneth
accepted.
Paltrow talks about it, I think.
Absolutely,
Maybe? I don't know.
absolutely.
But that vibe.
Some Gwyneth Paltrow style bitches definitely do acid now.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they're like, and telling me I should try it. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
we snorted microdots. But it was just so good for me, and
you could read while you were on it.
Yeah, I could read.
You're just crushing all of it. Yeah. You just fucking look at a book and you know everything that happens in Moby Dick.
Talking about Oliver Twist. But what happened was it just made me, but there was a real stigma to it. Of
course,
and my friends, I was taking it with like much older kids, and my friends' older brothers are like worried about them hanging out with me and stuff. And I always felt kind of dirty about it. And then
You were putting yourself squarely in the molestation zone.
Yeah.
You really were.
Yeah.
You were. Did you come out unscathed?
No, completely unscathed.
You did come out unsucked by any college freshman?
Yeah, I was. It was like so. Anyways, no, I was not. I wasn't molested, but I was hanging out with older people, and I could have got probably in trouble. I could have got pregnant or whatever. But then years later, I'm in therapy, and I'm telling this story to my therapist, and he goes, you were doing acid because you're like, school was so stressful, your life sucked.
Yeah.
School is so encompassing, especially when it's bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like when you have a shitty job, all of a sudden it's like it seems like a 24-hour thing because you're either in it or
and you're
like
thinking about how bad it's going to be. Yep.
So school was brutal. But
you need a little escape.
I needed, like just to go to another dimension. So that my therapist was like, like when people were drinking stuff, you were doing acid because it was just more of a release, and it clicked, and I was like, yeah, and I didn't. So now I don't have any. I didn't feel dirty about it anymore.
That's good,
but
man.
I will say it agrees with some people.
Sure.
And it does not agree with others. Like people, there were kids in my hometown that would like take it once and like not
start
quite
freaking out,
be the same.
Wow, really?
You know? Yeah, like they take it, and it didn't do. I feel like it didn't. I feel like it didn't hurt me.
I know what you're saying. I think it generally agrees with me too. But I remember I was in like 8th grade, and we're around the same age. And I remember the story for me going around was like, it's either the best or 5 years later, a drip will come out of the back of your brain and onto your spine, and you'll start freaking out. Like people told stories about like there was this guy in he was at a wrestling match and he was winning, and then the acid dripped in the back of his head, and he started freaking out. He took his singlet off and he started jerking off, and people would just make up this crazy shit. He would eat his own shit. He would be like he would just go crazy. And that stopped me from doing acid until I started with mushrooms, and I was like, whoa, these rock. Yeah. And if these rock, acid's probably going to be fucking sicker than this. Yeah. And so that was kind of like, but those stories did put me off of psychedelics for a while.
Because also, like, the shit that would be rerun. So, like, in the 60s, there was, like, so much, like, anti-acid propaganda. There'd be, like, a cop show, and a dude would, like, jump out. It was always jumping out of windows.
He'd kill his wife and jump out a window.
Yeah, always, like, and it's, like, some dude jumping out a window. But so that would be, like, still kind of on TV on repeat. There'd be, like, a fucking Columbo episode.
Culture had a much longer tail into the 80s and 90s.
Absolutely, yeah. So I always like it, but it just agreed with it. Even more so than I smoked a lot of weed too, but there got to be a point where I would like get like tripped out or like paranoid.
Sure.
And LSD never had that effect.
So you're doing it how often are we talking? Like every weekend you're dropping a couple tabs?
I mean there was a period, not when I was that young. Like that young it was like obviously you don't have a lot of drug connections, right?
Yeah. Who's the first guy who gave you acid? That's interesting.
Where the fuck I know it was someone went down. There was an arcade in our home. Tell me what's sketchier than this? A suburb of Toronto. Yeah. The arcade's directly across from the bus station. Like as if that's not the Bermuda Triangle of delinquency, right?
No, dude, that's like a child molester was the city planner of that suburb.
Absolutely. There was this arcade, and it was so fucking. I don't know what arcades are like now, but back then they were like jet black. Like it was like a haunted house with like a fucking.
Couple Street Fighters in there.
Absolutely.
A claw machine, a Street Fighter, some fucked up popcorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so it was like shit went down, man. So someone drove their bike down, like an older friend. It was like a friend's older brother drove his bike down to the arcade and bought. Would you do blotters or microdots?
Blotters.
We used
the paper, right?
I mean, I'm
not familiar with microdots. I've only ever done liquid or paper.
Mike, when I was like a teenager, when I was like a kid or whatever, what we would get would be microdots, and they are, dude, they're so small. Like there's not a candy this small. It would be like if you took a nerd and like cut it in half. Like it was.
So hold on. It's Eldis's penis size. Give me the cheers.
Oh, there's sounds?
No, Eldis. Eldis, you're cruising towards a probationary period.
We need a boo button.
You're gonna get a demerit soon, brother. Anyway, so you're doing these Eldis' cock-sized micro dots of acid.
They were called AWs.
Yeah.
Eldis Weens. No, so they were so small, but I remember getting it, and it was my friend's like, this is a double barrel strawberry. And I remember taking it, and yeah.
And now you must have been like because that can happen sometimes where it's like you had like those groups of friends where like I felt like I always tried to do this where it was like you're the younger kid in the group of the cool older guys, and you're almost like their mascot. In
a way, but I had more drug experience than them.
Oh, because you were ready to go immediately.
Just because I needed a release. Like I was like fucking.
So were you scoring acid by yourself at like 12?
No. So it would be, I don't know. So the first time an older guy went to the arcade and got it.
Yeah.
And then I would like
It's crazy you weren't molested.
Dude. I think I was.
You're in special ed.
Yeah.
You're like they could,
we're hot shorts.
Just sucking on a lollipop. Anybody got acid
at the bus station?
Yeah.
Hey, mister, can you make me feel good?
I can't read. Fuck.
Well, yeah. So
yeah,
we'd get like someone would go into Toronto, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow we would get. I would get these little.
It's like you were on the frontier.
Yeah.
Someone came in with a shipment.
But you would have to do so in high school. You have to double it up. If you do one, you probably know this. If you do one hit on Friday to get high on Saturday, you need to do two.
It was kind of like one big acid event for a weekend for me.
That's smart.
So I would probably start with two, but I wouldn't do it back to back.
Oh,
I was not a back to back guy.
I just had so much fun, man. But then I was watching it's a great documentary on Bob Weir, and he was saying like about the Grateful Dead, who were like the absolute forefront of taking LSD for fun.
Yeah.
And
real pioneers.
They would do it like he was like going like he was saying there was a year where they did it like once a week, and I was like, oh fuck, I was doing it twice a week. Garcia's like,
dude, chill out.
Hanley, chill, man. Really.
This Canadian child's really fucking shitting on us. That's hilarious. Now, did you ever have any of the so you're just having a good time. You're not having any existential crises.
No.
You're not doing any of that.
No. No
breakthroughs, no nothing. Just a good time.
I must have, because it's like I certainly developed a love for the Grateful Dead, which was music by people on acid, for people on acid. It's certainly in the 60s that was the case. But I developed a love for the Dead, and I would like. I saw some crazy shit, and it made me. I don't do it now. Like I'll go to see the Dead. They're doing like their final tour. Yes, because I've done enough that I understand what it would be like. Like I don't need to anymore. I might have a beer, or if like someone's smoking a joint, I might take a hit. Yeah, sometimes.
Sure,
but I guess I took mushrooms last year, but I generally don't.
Yeah,
but I think I did see things. By taking acid, even back then and then now, you understand certain things of design, and you understand certain aspects of pop culture that were clearly fueled on LSD. I remember taking it in a parking lot of like this like library, and it was all like trampled on, like people had like walked around on the snow, like we were out in the snow, and I could see a pattern. Like you could just see how creatively people have taken it over the years and created these things, because you do find patterns. It's wild. I don't know the science behind it, but it definitely
There's definitely certain things for sure. Like, I mean, I feel like you see some of that, the mushrooms or the acid art, where everyone has those big ass eyes and you have that like little sharp nose, and that's like you would see artwork like that, and you're like
Paisley.
Yeah. Paisley's a big acid thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing like everyone I remember looking at myself in the mirror on mushrooms and being like, oh, I look like an elf. this is what people see. That's definitely a style with the big ass eyes
Yeah,
and the like.
yeah.
If I saw
Yeah.
this is what being on mushrooms is, where you see like certain movies, you're like, oh, this is what it feels like to be on acid,
Dude.
The guy Mandy, that's a big acid movie for sure.
Oh, I haven't
Have you
seen Mandy. No,
You should see
I
it.
heard. Really?
Yeah, it's really good. And then the director, he's a Greek guy. I think it's. Can you look it up? George Cosmatos, I want to say. He did another movie that feels even more like acid. It's great. You should. I think it's acid cinema. Is you would Panos Cosmatos. Sorry, Pano, a Greek man.
I remember seeing
Beyond the Black Rainbow. That's an acid.
really?
That's an acid ass movie.
I'll get you to text it to me, or I'll
Yeah,
listen.
I'll leave you a voice memo of it.
I remember.
Yeah,
I just put it on. I remember. I remember watching Being High on it. We would do acid and then smoke. Another we do hot knives. Do you know those?
No.
That's got to be also an American thing.
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
heat
yeah.
up a knife on a blowtorch and then
dabs.
pick up the hash.
Dabs.
Oh, okay.
You're a dab pioneer. Look at you. Holy
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then you would get so fucking tripped out if you're
Of
mixing
course.
like.
No, that's too
But
much.
I remember getting high, being on acid, smoking, and watching Up and Smoke, that Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah.
And it being almost feeling like this is like a spiritual
Like you're in
experience.
church. Yeah.
Because it was so much joy.
Yeah.
Like laughing,
Totally.
falling. I remember dosing and watching Dumb and Dumber
Mm-hmm.
and laughing so hard that I fell off a couch.
Yeah.
Like it was just so funny.
Yeah. Well, I think about that sometimes too, about how I would love to go to church on a psychedelic because you got stained glass, you got
Yeah.
all the incense, you got the like singing in a way that's like, it would probably feel cool.
Yeah, I wonder what it would do to you. I wonder if you would see something that you missed before.
Yeah. Maybe I believe in God afterwards. That'd be something.
You believe? Yeah, like.
But who knows? So you're after you're the little acid king
Yeah.
of Ontario.
Uh-huh.
the little
Well, you
acid
did-
king of
you
Ontario.
did Google me, okay.
So you're clearly not going to fucking college.
No, well, no. I had this experience
Yeah.
where in 12th grade,
Yeah.
I go in to see the guidance counselor, and he was like real fucking snooty with me.
Yeah.
And he like kind of laughed in my face when I said I wanted to go to. I just said it because all my friends had gone to college. They were older.
Yeah.
They all gone to college.
Yeah.
I was going up and partying with them on the weekend and stuff. I was like, maybe I should go to.
This is cool. They have way more acid at college. So much easier to get acid here.
So I decided
Their knives are even hotter at college.
How is that? So I decided I was going to go to. I decided I wanted to go to college, and I went in. And if the guy was just fucking civil to me, I probably would have dropped the idea.
Sure.
But because he was so snooty and shitty,
Yeah.
I went home and I was like upset because he was like
He just laughed
scoffed
at you?
me.
Yeah.
So I go home and I tell my parents, and my dad was like, my mom was always like going to the school and being like, he's not dumb, he's like a smart kid. He did it,
Yeah.
give him another chance.
Which is true. They clearly mishandled educating you.
Well, yeah, they sucked.
Like in today's day, you have a much different experience in school.
I hope so, but I see, like, I have friends whose kids have recently been diagnosed with dyslexia, and it's like if you meet a kid that's like is social and is like has interests like into music or into has like real interest and knowledge about things, but can't read, then chances are that like 90% they're dyslexic because they're smart. They just have a challenge in that one area. So so anyways, I ended up, I qualified for college. I ended up working my ass off. I just got lucky. My last year of high school, they had this weird program. It lasted 1 year where I would have a subject, then a one-on-one teacher.
Wow.
So I didn't have to write anything. I didn't have to read anything. I would sit in the class, and then I would take what I took to him. He'd read it to me and write out my marks. And all of a sudden my marks, I was doing so well.
Yeah.
And I was like, you motherfuckers convinced me that I was like dumb and celebrated me for not shitting myself, like you said. Wikipedia. No, but like really like, and all the kids in the class, they make them, if you were a little bit struggled, they would make you so you felt really, you know what I mean?
Of
Like
course,
they would do whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, you motherfuckers, man. So I could have gone, but it took a lot out of me.
Sure.
And my parents were like, you could go to college, but we think it would be like more trouble than it's worth, whatever.
That's awesome. Your parents are like, I don't know about all this. I don't know about all this college stuff.
I'm like, well,
why don't
my
I
brother and sister went to college. My parents like, those fucking losers.
Yeah.
No, but
they're like, Phil, why don't we just set 60 grand on fire instead?
Come on.
All right, nice. So what'd you do? What'd you do as like a...
Well, I moved. I have jokes about it, but I model.
I was gonna ask, is that when the modeling starts? Which is also hilarious.
It's so hilarious
because you're a good-looking guy, but it's funny to say you're a fashion model.
Well, it was ridiculous. There was
by the way, both of us have been in Vogue.
That's beautiful.
I was on we were both models.
Yeah.
This is an all-model podcast and an ugly piece of shit producer. And
one day it's coming. Vogue is coming. Don't worry.
Vogue Albania.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
This is a jumping pad for my modeling career.
He's doing it to fucking network with you. So anyway, so you're not
gonna find anything, dude.
Yeah. No. So how does this happen? How did you get discovered as a fucking?
I had a
model?
friend who was she was like a real model, and she just knew that I wasn't gonna do anything. She's like, you should model. And at the time, there was a brief moment where like I was very skinny.
Yeah.
Had long hair.
Yeah. Tall guy. How tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah.
But the look was skinny with long hair and looked like someone that did drugs. And I was like, had been researching that.
Yeah, I've been getting ready for that. Yeah.
I've been boning up.
Yeah.
So, so I did that for I moved to Europe. I lived in London and I did that for 4 years. And then.
So you have a job or you just go with your friend?
My friend was huge. I met someone I met
Heidi Klum.
An agent in New York.
Heidi Klum is your friend?
What's that?
Heidi Klum, your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Klum. And I once saw her in person years ago, and she was so beautiful. It was crazy.
I believe it.
I saw her at a flea market.
Wow.
Yeah, and did, it was really stunning. And, God, wild.
You're like, I'm a model.
Yeah.
What's up?
Let's talk headshots.
Yeah.
So then, so she was big. And then,
but you got a job and you moved? Or you just moved?
I met an agent through her, and he's like, come and do Fashion Week in Milan.
Right off the rip.
Yeah, but it's like a scam.
Again.
It's like a scam.
Okay,
they bring in all these dudes, but I actually got lucky and had booked some shows.
Another way you narrowly avoided molestation.
Honestly,
you're in a foreign country. Dude. Some gay guy's like, "Yeah, come to Italy."
Yeah. Can't read the street signs.
Yeah, it's in a foreign language and it's fucking just print.
Yeah,
you're 0 for 2.
Starving for some reason again with a sucker. There were those. When they talk about people at work being sexually harassed and stuff like that, that shit does happen in male modeling. And these guys that were homophobic until the fucking plane landed in Milan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because generally male models, when I was a male model, it was just the best looking guy from high school. It was the athletes that were fucking shredded.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now they have to 100%.
But I was in high school. There were pool parties where I would swim with a t-shirt. I was not I am hot.
Yeah.
It was, but I was there. What that look was popular, whatever. So I went and Milan Fashion Week back then was just a cattle call, and I think people liked the idea. I was embarrassed. In my mind, I wanted to be I was Jerry Garcia would not
Yeah.
walking around Italy with a fucking portfolio. Now I look back and I'm like, you couldn't read.
Yeah.
You had no employable skills. You're not going to work in a factory. You had no upper body strength.
Yeah.
I should have been.
Yeah, you should have been
jumping for joy.
It was one of the few possible jobs you could have had.
Yes,
just walking.
I might have gone only possible job.
Yeah.
And I was like, So anyways, I did do it. I did it for 4 years, and then, but What freaked me out was I hated school. My dad growing up didn't like his job, and I had this thing in my head where I wanted to do something that I loved. So
same.
Did you really? You're like, I'm not gonna have a shitty job.
Well, it's the same thing. My dad would always complain constantly. Would talk about how we fucking took him from Greece. How it's like he hates all the shit he has to do, and he was like, you better fucking get a good job or you're end up like me. And I always pretended, and so they always wanted me to be a lawyer and shit because I was good at school.
Yeah.
Or just like go to school, get a good job, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I always knew, like, I was like, I know I'm going to be different from my dad. And I thought it was going to be, I'll be a lawyer or something. But in the back of my head, I was like, I don't want to do that shit.
Oh, really?
I always wanted to do comedy. Like,
oh, really?
From the time that I was like 9 or 10, I knew.
Wow.
And I pretended not to because I wanted my parents to like, I had all this immigrant guilt of like, I have to be successful and I have to get a good job and everybody's depending on me. And then it was like when I was like, I started doing open mics when I was like 19, and then the guilt came back and I quit and went to school.
No way, really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, my family really, whatever. And then I was doing this and I was like, this makes me miserable.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, fuck my family. I'm a child.
Yeah.
I'm 18. Like, they're the adults. It's not my fault they can't, my dad can't fucking pay his bills. Like, so that I had like that epiphany.
What was that realization? What made you have that epiphany?
I think it was that, like, it's one thing to say this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something that that I hate because I'm good at it and I can make money. It's one thing to say that theoretically, but when you had gotten a taste of what comedy's like, and then you have to go back, and I had I was interning at the Maryland House of Delegates. Like, I was doing this, like, fucking, I was getting all these, like, I had great grades, I was on a scholarship program, but I hated it. And I was like, I'm like, wait, this is going to be this for 40 years?
Yeah.
I'm going to feel this way for 40 years? So it's just one of those things where I was like, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
I physically will fucking want to, like, even when I'm doing something I like, I half want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Now I got to go fucking do something I hate.
Yeah.
So it was that thing where I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm just doing, and I had jobs, but really once I got back to stand up, I knew I was like.
So how much time did you take off?
Probably like a year and a half.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. By the time I was 21, I was doing it again full, and I never stopped since then. So
yeah, like that.
I did it for like a year, 9 months, something like that, and then
Were your folks disappointed? Did you finish
school?
school?
Dude, I didn't finish school. I need 6 credits to graduate, and they're language credits, and I'm fluent in Greek, so I could take a test, but I just don't. I just think it's kind of funny to because I walked. They let you get your degree.
Oh, really?
Well, they let you walk because they assume you'll go to summer school and get your degree. Because what kind of lunatic would get 98% of a degree and then be like, no, I'm good?
Yeah.
But all I wanted was the pictures for my mom. I didn't give a fuck. I got the cap and gown pics.
Yeah.
They can suck my dick. So they definitely were.
Sounds like quite a commencement speech.
Yeah, I was valedictorian. But yeah, they were definitely disappointed at first.
Yeah.
Literally, my dad called me once, and he was like, "This is when I told my mom, I was like, hey, I want to do comedy. I don't want to, because I might have gone to grad school, I might have gotten a serious job out of undergrad, but instead I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm giving comedy a shot. I'll have some bullshit jobs, but this is my main priority."
Yeah.
And I told my mom that, and then my dad, I just get a call from him, and he picks up and he's just like, just a sigh.
Really?
And I'm like, hello? And he's like, no hello, no nothing. He's like, your mom told me you're going to do comedy now, huh? And I was like, yeah. He was like, and literally hangs up. Like, that's,
really?
Yeah, that was the conversation me and my dad had about me doing. That's the only time we ever discussed doing comedy. And then he saw me when I opened for Bobby at Magooby's Joke House. They saw me do shit later. My mom completely is on board and was on board pretty quick.
Yeah.
She thought I was just trying to get fucked up and have a good time and not have a job.
Yeah.
Which, I get why I was lazy growing up. But in reality, I was just like, I fucking liked comedy. So she's on board now. But it was touch and go there for a while. But yeah, I don't know. It's no male modeling, that's for sure.
Well, but so I had the same thing where my dad didn't didn't.
So he's not
love
respecting
his
you as a
job.
model, or what?
No. My folks have been totally on board with everything.
They're just happy you're
They
not.
wanted me to. They were worried that I was going to stay in my hometown.
Yeah.
So when I had an opportunity to travel, they were like, really.
That's honestly huge for your dumbass kid who's on acid and can't read.
Yeah.
Where he's in Milan and fucking seeing Italy, seeing Paris.
Well, just they thought, yeah, and it was, and I was there while my friends were in college.
Yeah.
I guess my friends finished before I had moved home, but for me it was like my dad didn't love his job, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that. And then on top of that, from kindergarten to the end of school was hell. So I was like, I am not doing something I don't enjoy.
Right.
For a millisecond. Millisecond of my adulthood. So even modeling, where I look back and I'm like, I probably should have done it longer.
Yeah.
But like, for example, I lived in this modeling. It was like, they're like hotels, but they were just for models.
Yeah, hilarious.
And there was like at one point, like there would be like 4 dudes in a room, like in these little cots, again with the molestation.
Like, truly, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You were so close to getting sex trafficked.
So I mean, so living in Milan, living in these like, and sometimes it was like 5 dudes in a room. It would be a big room with like just like single beds, and a guy that I lived with. And so I had quit modeling. He stayed with it. And then when I moved to New York to do comedy, so I was a comedian in Vancouver for years with the goal, get to fucking New York. I saw Comedian, the documentary. I was like, get to New York. Of course. I move in. I'm living with a couple in Williamsburg, and they had 4 cats and a pit bull.
Oh, my God.
But like lovely animals, but lots of them.
Too many.
Yes. In a 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm just renting a room there. I'm putting this. If you saw this in a movie, you'd be like, "Dude, it's too on the nose."
Yeah.
I'm putting my key into this new apartment, knowing that I'm like moving into a fucking petting zoo. As I'm putting the key in, the door across the hall opens up, and it's the guy I used to live with. He stayed modeling. He now lives in Williamsburg with his Brazilian supermodel wife and their gorgeous kids. He's retired at like 32 years old. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not saying like, it was actually the second time the time the key hit the fucking thing, the dude walks out. Like, it was a fucking episode of Friends, man. Like, it was insane timing.
God
it was like, and action.
And you had to see him.
Ding. I had to see him, and I was like, David? And he's like, he at first didn't like fully recognize me, and then he did. And then he's like, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, good,
Really good. Really, really good, man. Oh, really so awesome.
Good, like coughing up hairballs. I'm like, oh, dude. Oh, guy, you do not know.
It's just the bachelor lifestyle.
Who's that? Yeah. Who's that really unattractive Brazilian supermodel you're married to?
Yeah, who's that? 6.5 back there.
Oh, God, it was fucking nuts. Dude. So I could have maybe done it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But oh, God. And okay, so when you start, you do like editorial stuff, and it doesn't really pay, but you like shoot with like cool photographers, you get good pictures.
Sure.
But you're trying to get, you want like a cologne ad or whatever. But also if you do catalog work, it pays really well. And my last job was in Germany, and it was just trying on ski coats, and you make ridiculous money. And here I am, fucking illiterate, with no plan. With no plan.
You're like, fuck this. What the fuck am I?
Another winter sleeves?
Yeah.
With like the easiest job.
That's awesome.
Wined and dined by some fucking German ski company. And I thought I was above that. And moved home to Vancouver to take an improv class. Like, it's so insane.
Incredible. That is the most special ed thing you've ever done.
Oh, yeah. That's dumber than the way I spell Wednesday. It's fucking insane. And my parents were just like, yeah, that sounds right, dear. Like, no one was like...
Too supportive.
Yeah. Someone should have been like, dude...
Stay with
what
it.
Are you fucking... To what?
Yeah.
So anyways, I love music and LSD. We touched upon that. But I was never someone who, like, I was always like a smart ass. And was like someone who like was fearless when it came to like basically what I do in between jokes, the crowd work I did. Sure. I've done since I was.
You've been fucking
8.
with people,
yeah, just like fucking around, and being a smart ass, which was dangerous in my hometown because there was a lot of fighting. Yeah, so I didn't love. I guess I love making people laugh, but I didn't realize that was a thing. Like I didn't know it was a skill.
Of course.
Growing up, hockey was a skill.
Yeah.
School, like things that you could grade, and you can't grade how much laughter you got on a Friday night. So I had no idea that I had any ability in anything.
It is really funny, because it is these intangible things.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what is podcasting other than having a good time, being a good hang, for a little bit, you know what I mean? It's like, that we have turned these weird intangibles into because I feel like I've gone pro at hanging out. That's what this life and job feels like. It's like I'm one of the top 10 hanging out guys.
Well, it's true. I mean, and the dudes that are great at podcasting are dudes that are great hangs.
Yeah, you got to be a great hanger. You have to have that like. Those like, joke, like anything fucking bang, it's like, those are the two, top skills. But
that and,
or just knowing random facts.
And having no shame in talking about really personal things.
Mark. The Norman School.
Exactly. Where it's like, he'll say whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, it's awesome.
But wait. Oh yeah. So then I moved back and I started doing. And then the first improv class, I got a laugh from the class, and I was like, "Oh, this feels as good getting a laugh from strangers as it does from friends and family."
Sure.
So then I slowly started.
Still,
doing comedy.
big mistake.
Yeah.
Your life would be so much better.
You could have been me with the thing.
You could have been the funniest model. You know how much more fun that would be?
Yeah.
Than like a hot comedian. Funny model is who you want to be, pal.
I can't even get laid in Boston.
Well, there's a ton of other shit I want to talk about. I think that's a nice little. Well, come on, you got to come back to Stavvy's world.
Oh, I'd love to come back to Stavvy's world.
But we gotta, now that we got a little taste of our dyslexic friend here, we're gonna take some calls. We're gonna answer some listener voicemails. 904-800-STAV. I hope you guys ask questions about doing acid. Because Phil's got you covered. But before we do that, why don't we? You're on the road. What are you doing? Where can the people find you, Phil? Before we do,
please take this out because I know it's annoying when everyone asks this. But when does this come out? What should I?
We don't even know. Like in a month or a month and a half.
March, April,
like
maybe.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
I quit comedy in May. So. Where should I plug?
Go Raleigh, you know what I mean?
Oh, sweet. Okay. This, please come. Charlie Goodnight's Raleigh, March 3rd.
Yeah.
You promised me this would be up by then?
No, we can't promise that.
Indianapolis, right?
Yep.
The Greek, is that a Greek name? Apolis?
Polis, yeah.
Yep. Indianapolis, March 4th. So Raleigh, Charlie Goodnight's March 3rd.
Oh, you
Indianapolis, March 4th.
All right next to each other, Raleigh and Indianapolis.
We'll talk to my agent about
nice routing, and then he's back in Raleigh right the next day.
Early show Raleigh, late show Indianapolis. Then Philly, March 9th to 11th, Philly Punchline. And then Houston, the Riot, the 7th and the 8th.
Okay.
Yes. Please come to those shows.
Minimum, you will hear this by the Houston dates, guys. That we can promise.
Yes. Please, I want to sell those tickets. April 7th and 8th at Houston, the Riot.
Yeah, and go watch the special, of course. But
ooh la la,
very good stuff. But we just want to get those plugs out. Well, before you guys are fast forwarding to the end, go see our boy Phil, watch his special, and now why don't we get some questions here? Let's get Phil's perspective on some of these life issues our friends are having.
Hey, Stav.
Go ahead, Eldis, play us the first one.
Hey, Stav. I just got a quick question for you. I've been dating this girl for about 2.5 years, and her dad's the real money maker of the family, a real successful guy. And just recently at work, I was talking to one of my coworkers about her dad, and he said, "Oh, isn't he so-and-so that drives so-and-so car?" I was like, "Yeah. how do you know that? He was like, oh, I can't tell you how I know that. I was like, well, now you got to tell me.
Whoa.
And he said, well, a while back, he was having an affair with the receptionist. And
damn.
My girlfriend's always kind of said that she has suspicions that her dad cheats, but it's never been confirmed. And now I've been living with this secret for about a month or so. I just don't think I should tell her, but part of me wants to, you know, honesty in a relationship is important. I just don't know if I should tell her. So if you could let me know what you think, that'd be sick. Love what you're doing.
Yeah, well, look, honesty in a relationship is important, but is it more important than some guy getting pussy on the side? It's hard to say. At the same time, I do feel for this guy because it's a weird situation. It's like it's not like, you know, it's a rumor. It's going around. You know, it's not what I.
What? Yeah. Also, it's like weird. What kind of? It's like, does he drive a green car? Yeah. Oh, he's fucking his receptionist.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, green car, big dick Mike. Yeah, of course.
Oh no, Mike.
He fucking stretched Vanessa out. We were talking about it for months, right in that Buick. Yeah,
that's. But also, it's. I've had situations in life where you try to do the right thing and it fucking blows the fuck up. And then she associates you with the worst news she's ever got in her life.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if she's like, sure, if someone's completely evolved, say they started doing LSD at 12, they can handle something like that. But that's a fucking biggie. Even if, like, sometimes someone will hint, like, maybe she's like, oh, my dad, like, he's, you know, he's such a flirt when we go to Home Depot or whatever.
That man sees an orange apron. He can't help himself.
He has an orange tent. That's a fucking, like, even if she hints at it, it's still, she couldn't really, maybe she doesn't come to terms with it.
And your point about going out of your way to do the right thing, blowing up in your face. I believe in The Wire, the term was, there you go again, giving a fuck when it's not your turn to give a fuck. And that is honestly great advice.
Yeah.
In some way, now look, I also understand that you love your girlfriend and you want her to know the truth. Here's how I would play it. First of all, I could swallow this secret without even thinking about it.
Oh my God, it wouldn't even remember.
I would force myself to forget, or I would just keep it in the back of my mind in case me and Pops have a little run-in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be driving the green car, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'd show up in the fucking Porsche, and my girlfriend would be like, how'd you get this? Like, your dad is just a really big fan of mine.
He blew me.
He's just a really cool, really reasonable guy. Yeah. But if you're not built like this, you can't swallow dark family secrets. You don't come from a family that the father was pretty openly cheating on the mother, and you've learned how to compartmentalize that. If you're not that kind of guy, here's how I would play it. I would either broach this situation, or I would kind of like talk about her dad with her, kind of have a little conversation. Or if it ever came up, you want to pounce and be like, well, you know, if you're worried, we could ask around. I'm sure I could do a little snooping.
Yeah. Oh,
you know
that's
what I mean?
smart.
You could be if you make it sound like, I mean, how worried are you about this? You want me to like ask around? And if she's like, you know what, I'd rather not know, then you know you have your answer right there. But if she's like, really, you think like somebody might know, and you're like, hey, it doesn't hurt. I can ask. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if she's like, oh, well, okay. And then you just give it a week, give it 3 days or whatever, and then come back with the old information as new information. But at the same time, you know, it's a rumor. You don't want to fucking, you know.
Yeah.
But it does seem like a pretty out in the open rumor. It's also not, how long has this guy been dating her, does he say?
I don't think so. Oh, 2.5 years.
2.5 years is a little different. Oh, that's interesting.
I feel like I couldn't walk around with that.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
2.5 years is serious.
You couldn't walk around with that?
If you're like in the relationship long enough and If it's like if it's kind of on her radar already or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends how rumor like it felt. If it's just some fucking guy who works at some place and like, it seems
I heard he gets pussy. That's not the same as like on March 24th he was spotted with Erica coming out of a motel. Like there's if it's closer to the latter, yeah. 2.5 is serious. That's a serious girlfriend.
But also there's a thing, and I've had this experience where I had a girlfriend who had to choose between her and me. And we'd been together for years.
What do you mean her and you?
Like her family. She had to choose between her family and me. And she didn't give it a second thought. She went with the family. So, and you think, because to my mind, it would be like if my so it could blow up for him.
Sure.
And it could also, maybe the mom is aware. What about this scenario? Ooh. The mom is aware. She's just wants to turn a blind eye. Then the daughter confronts. So then the mom is like, well, I'm her. Like, then the mom's in this weird position where, like, this could blow shit up. It could get fucking nuclear real quick, man. Yeah. So.
Okay, that's fair. However, I will say, the read you have to make here is, like, what does your girl think of her dad? Right. Like, if this is me, right?
Yeah.
I don't fuck with my dad. And I know he's cheated, whatever, but it's like. But if somebody came up to me and was like, your dad, like in a situation where somebody had proof back in the day, I would personally appreciate that.
Yeah.
If your girl doesn't like her father, or she shit talks her dad, or if it's more than just suspicions and she's like, I think he's cheating on my mom, he's a fucking piece of shit, you do have to play it by ear. Because I agree with you. Sometimes there is like a family first all the way shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is that. And I'm going to guess that was an immigrant. Because immigrants are like that, where it's like your family, it's ride or die. White people, they'll pick you over. White girls will pick you over her family a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, are we dealing with some honky pussy right now? But that's what you have to figure out. How does she feel about it? How much of a rumor is this? Is it real? B, how does she feel about her dad? And then you have to think, do you want to slow play it, or do you want to just say like, hey, I heard some fucked up shit about your dad at work?
And also, if you can, just fucking go about your day.
And if you can live like that, go about your day. Those are your options, pal, and that's what you have to figure out. And we actually have 3 competing. This is interesting because the panel is split. Yeah. Eldis is tell her right away. I don't respect MTV's bro code.
Yeah,
I don't respect guy code at all.
Yeah.
Phil's like, hey man, let it roll, brother. You know?
Yeah. Well, I would do no. I'm
more of the like.
I'm a little bit on your side. I agree with you to a certain extent, but
I would poke it. I'm the middle way where I'm like, I would do a little more fact finding.
Yeah, because could you imagine if the mom knew it was an arrangement, but then the mom's confronted with the daughter has to say like, you let him, you know what I mean?
Of course, that's you're right. That's the nightmare scenario. But, good luck. We just gave you 3 completely different answers.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Figure it out, dumbass. Then listen, 904-800 stop if you want this level of advice. If you have a deep personal problem and you want
mocked.
Yeah. All right. What do we got, Eld?
Hey, Stavvy. Big fan. Listen, I got a question about my girlfriend, right? Okay. So we've been dating about 4 months, and we have done. I mean, the sex is good, but now she has to be like choked and hit a lot.
Sure.
And I was fine with the occasional slap, but she asked me a couple of days ago to punch her in the face.
Damn.
And I don't know exactly how I feel about that.
Yeah.
That could be. That's kind of problematic for me. I was raised not to hit a woman, but she did ask me to. Let me know. What the hell you think I should do? Do I punch her in the face if she asks, or I don't know? I can use your advice.
Okay. Well, you weren't raised to hit a woman, but were you raised to hit a woman when your cock was inside of her? Those are 2 different things. I'm pretty sure your mom was never like, listen, She never had to talk about about hitting a woman while penetrating her. You know, it's a little bit of a different thing. And also, once just because you act like you hit her during sex, that means if she annoys you during dinner, you can also hit her. It doesn't open up the floodgates to just punch a woman if you have rough sex with her. So it's not really to me I wasn't raised to do this, because we weren't raised to eat ass either, but we're all doing it. But if you're not comfortable with it, that's another thing. And I get that. Punch is a fucking...
Yeah.
That's a slap I can get behind, but punch is a little... Now we're really talking. Now the fucking big guns are out.
Yeah, like I would... If you're sleeping with someone, you want to fulfill them, you want to please them or whatever.
Yeah.
But if someone was like, punch me...
Yeah.
And
How annoying was she that day? I've had some exes where it's like, if that's what she wanted, it would be like, I wouldn't even think.
First off, that's unique.
Sure.
No, I've had many conversations about sex before.
Punch is tough.
No one's ever... Like, I've never seen someone rapping their knuckles and thought, "Oh, you're going to make love." I didn't know you're in a relationship. So that's like a unique request, and I'm not judging her for whatever she wants, whatever. But clearly, if you're reaching out to a podcast host for advice, you're not comfortable with it. So if you're not comfortable with it, then don't. I mean, it's that, and don't think. Like there's anything wrong with not that's like I feel like that's what I would classify as a big ask.
Yeah, it's that I would absolutely. It's in the same category as like pegging you, or like, you know, if your girl was like, "Hey, do you mind if while we fuck you suck a guy's cock?" You'd be like, "No, thanks. I'm all set." Yeah. But I would honestly punch a real punch. I would put that in the same category as sucking some cock, because that's tough. Like a slap is fine. I'll get a slap in there. Choking is even fine too. But look, it's not about how you're raised. It's not about problematic. It's not about any of that shit. It's about what you're comfortable in within your relationship. And look, maybe because it's a big ask, maybe you treat it like other big asks, and maybe on her fucking birthday, you really tune her up. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
Maybe you save it for a special occasion, the way like a girl will only let you fuck her in the ass on vacation every once in a while, that kind of thing. If that's how you're comfortable, that's all I'm not saying you have to get it in the... You can also just have a sexual boundary, and it's totally valid for you to just be like, "Hey, listen, I'll slap you, I'll choke you, I'll spit in your eye, I'll call you a whore, but I really don't want to be fucking uppercutting you. I don't want to donkey punch you while I'm hitting it from the back."
How do you even like punch someone's face without likely like fucking their face up?
I can't imagine.
A mark or
while
something?
You're having sex, you're already moving.
Yeah.
How do you take that in there?
Yeah.
I mean, from a just mechanical standpoint, I could see it. It wouldn't be a serious one. I think it'd be like,
if you're not.
But let's also say something fucked up has happened here. Let's do a little math.
Yeah.
Well,
But listen, she got a bust. She's got a bust. I don't have a, but you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think across the board, if you're with someone and you're not into what they want to do, then I think,
yeah,
you don't have to. If you don't punch your girlfriend, doesn't mean you don't love her.
That's right. Beautiful words. And also, it's 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
You have to draw your bound. You have to think about what you're comfortable with, and the chips are going to fall where they may. Maybe this is a problem for her. She wants to get punched all the time. Maybe it's a special occasion, whatever. But you have to figure out what you're comfortable with. Communicate that to her. Say, look, I'm just not that. I'm comfortable with this. Maybe once in a while, maybe never. This is what I'm comfortable with, and that's okay. It can be a little awkward. I get that. But there is so many of these questions come down to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
Which is hard. I understand that it's hard, but is it harder than punching her in the face? Probably not.
I would just have the conversation. I don't think there's anything.
If the conversation is easier than punching her in the face, have the conversation. If you find punching her in the face easier than the conversation, then fucking uppercut her. You know what I mean? Those are your options. But I think have a conversation, talk about what you actually want. And that's whether it's a punch or a peg or a ass eating or a role play or whatever, you have to figure out what you want in a consensual relationship. You a rough sex guy there, Phil?
I mean, I'm like, if the person I'm with, whatever they're into,
You're a little chameleon. You're a sexual chameleon.
I can, you know what I mean. But I've never. That's
never been the thing. You're not beating off thinking about slapping a woman.
Well, I've never had anyone ask me something where I was like, "Wait, did I mishear that?" Yeah. You know what I mean? Like something that sounds like a fucking X-rated jackass prank. I've never been like, I want you to push me off my bike. Like I've not to judge. I'm not judging whatever people are into. But that strikes me. Also, like, what if it's like a phase, or what if she's just had that fantasy and then you put? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. So I've never been with someone who I've never been taken back by a request.
A request, sure. I have, but it's been more psychological. People have been like I could dirty talk, but it's like sometimes somebody will want real wild shit said about them, and I'm just like, all right, can't I just fucking come? Can I just bust, for Christ's sake? I gotta be fucking doing a whole monologue.
Yeah,
I talk for a living.
You gotta do accent work.
Yeah. You've never let the hands fly, Eldis. You're a gentle giant.
Sometimes. I mean, everyone's different, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever I've done like sort of shit like that, though, it's like it always feels like, you know, kind of like a role play thing where I'm not really into it, but yeah, sure, fuck it, let's get in there.
I'll never see you again. What do I care?
Let's get in the octagon.
But it's like, overall, you know, I'm good with a ma and pa in the cabin style sex.
Yeah. I just. Let me look at a nice pair of titties.
You want to turn the other person, like you want to turn the other person on. That's like part of the thrill.
I will say there are certain girls, for whatever reason, like a lot of girls that are attracted to me want to be thrown around. I think it's because you're like a big guy. They just assume you're gonna fucking manhandle them.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they can tell that I have an anger problem I'm trying to suppress.
Do you have an anger problem?
Huh? I grew up with my big anger problem. My whole family. I've gotten a lot better with it.
Yeah.
And I will say, if a girl is annoying enough, sometimes she taps into that, and I do kind of fucking. They can tell that it's like, oh, his dad must have broken coffee tables, so I'm gonna ask him to, you know, slap me. And if they catch me when I'm really thinking about childhood trauma, sometimes they hit the jackpot. But it feels like an unclean use of. It feels like an unclean energy that you're tapping into. I'd much rather just look at a nice big pair of tits and bust, personally. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do, pal, ultimately. And to our friend, I think you're not, you know, you might have not had an abusive father. So maybe you're not going to be good at it. What else do we got here, Eldis?
Hey, what's up? So, question for you. I'm not quite legal advice, but like ethical.
I don't know how this is starting. I don't like
input on a legal decision I'm trying to make. So, a couple months back, my now ex-girlfriend tried to murder me. So, like, she pulled a knife on me and then cut my chest. Super fun.
He knows you didn't actually go to law school, right?
I was a paralegal. They didn't check if I graduated, so they hired me.
Wait, this is wild.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Start this a little bit back. Yeah. So I'm trying.
Super fun. I continued to date her. Really smart. Tried to murder me. Mm-hmm. So like she pulled a knife on me and then cut my chest. Super fun.
Cut your
chest. Continued to date her. Really smart for me. And then only later on did she become my ex after she cheated on me with like a full frat.
No.
So I have like the evidence and the police report, and like she had gone to jail originally for trying to kill me, but I didn't like press charges. Should I do that now? Or would that like kind of be like a dick thing to wait this long? Or it's also like a dick thing that she tried to kill me and then cheat on me. Just, you know, looking for a little bit of input here. Thanks, homie.
Wow. You were gonna let a fucking attempted murder slide until she got a train ran on her, dude? That ain't how it works, bro. Damn, just imagine how good this girl's pussy is. I mean, this must be insane. There's blood. Your own blood is dripping off your chest.
You're what, an inch and a half from your heart? Your shit, like it's one. Okay, I've never heard of like the stabbing thing.
Sure,
but let's just quickly go over body parts. The last place you want to be stabbed.
I would say chest is pretty
face.
up there.
Yeah, I would say face.
Face is top. Yeah,
and then chest.
I would say anywhere like a big vein is.
Yeah,
you don't want to be stabbed like.
But your
chest is bad.
If that's her first point of entry, that's a kill shot.
Yeah.
That's a kill shot. That's intense, man.
I love that he was like, I continued to date her.
Could you imagine? You're like the next day you're out at lunch. And your wound is bleeding through
your polo's got a little fucking blood on it.
Yeah, it looks like the horse shot.
The horse has been shot. Look, pal. I'm honestly, literally, if you could press a button and feel what it felt like for this girl to suck your dick, that's what AI needs to get working on. Because I guarantee you this might be one of the best people in the universe at sucking dick. There's no way you keep dating someone who stabbed you in the chest and then she fucked 12 guys and then you're like, well, this does it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'll tell you. You're dumb as hell. This guy's stupid, obviously, but we've all, I can't really fault him.
But he says I'm stupid. He knows what he did.
He knows what he did. He knows he listened to his penis.
Yeah, not his chest.
Yeah, not his blood vessels. Here's what I'll say you do. You don't do it now, but you break up with her, you get her completely out of your life, right? You draw a boundary, like never speak to me again, whatever. And you have, because here's my guess, she ain't going to go easily. This is not a reasonable person. This is somebody who is going to, as JP McDavid on an earlier episode said, put your dog in an air fryer. This is that type of lady, okay? So I would just keep the attempted murder charge in your back pocket as a sort of like default or backup, almost like the thing where they have to stay a certain amount away from you. What are they called?
A restraining order.
Restraining order.
You've essentially got a de facto restraining order in your back pocket.
For the statute of limitations, though, what is the statute of limitations on that?
Attempted murder?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's longer than a couple months. I don't know.
Longer than a frat party.
Yeah. The judge's like, how much cock did she suck? It depends. How ran through was her pussy afterwards? You get a month for every fucking gallon, every quart of cum she swallowed. You get to extend the statute of limitations. That's what I would do. I would move on with my life, make a clean break from it all, and definitely don't do it retaliatorily because she fucked a bunch of other guys. Because guess what? That was always going to happen, and you knew that in the back of your head. You think this was going to end in what? Marriage? You thought she was going to get on the right cocktails and become a wife? No. You knew what this was, pal. So, just keep it in your back pocket, move on. And if a woman ever does, this kind of violence towards you, get out of the relationship a little sooner, I would say. You ever been attacked by a lover?
Yeah. Yeah, I have. But I would say never with a sharp object. But
Yeah.
I would say to this dude, first off, move on. Do not.
Yes.
This is a situation where you unfollow, block numbers, move
everything.
on. Do not
move towns.
Get away from this woman. See, I understand that I've never been stabbed, but maybe and I'm not being whatever. I've been to therapy. Go to therapy and find out why you stayed with this woman. You thought it was
okay.
Yeah. Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do that, but really, and not when I say block. Try to do it in a subtle. Like I would tiptoe away from this person. And stay away from this person. Do not. The charging thing. I would just get out and get away.
What's she gonna do if you charge her and she gets a really good lawyer?
Huh? Well, how did she get the lawyer?
I don't know, but like if he presses charges and like she somehow like wiggles out of it, then like you know,
no, exactly.
That could trigger some retaliation from her. You just want to,
you get away. And if she shows up and she's shit all over smeared her shit all over your Scion TC, then maybe think about pressing. But you can't be the one to starting a fresh round of violence.
Exactly.
But if she does, I think you should. But again. Also, talk to a lawyer and not us.
Yeah.
Call a lawyer and ask him about this.
Not a comedian.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. All right. Hit us with another one, Eldis. Good calls. Solid calls.
Yeah.
Tigani, Stavvy, Imasaris, and I have a question about, like,
Greek.
Law school, basically.
Okay.
I'm in law school, and it is pretty much the worst place on the face of the fucking earth. It's a factory to like make evil drones. But anyways, the best part is that I have two really, really good friends. The three of us are super tight. We're like, Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey.
Oh, nice.
And anyways, my two friends started fucking.
Yeah, so you're a donkey.
And things were going fine. Things were going, just peachy at first. We were all still like great buds. But the whole time that they were fucking, it's a guy and a girl. And the girl was like, hey, listen, I'm still legally married. She's broken up. It's a whole thing to get divorced. So she's like, hey, I'm still legally married. Like, I really want to be single. Like, I cannot be in like a formal relationship. And the guy the whole time was like, yeah, whatever. But all of, they were constructively dating. I mean, they were sleeping over. They were doing all the dating things. Partly because we're all such close friends first. In any case, he went back home for the holidays. She fucked somebody else. It broke his heart. And she was like, hey, this is the deal. Like, I said that I wanted to be single. Like, this was not exclusive, but they're such good friends. In any case, I was a child of divorce. And,
right back in that dynamic.
He had a right to be pissed, but he was fucking awful to be around when he was mad at her. And, she felt very justified, but also sad that her friend was hurt. In any case, they kind of got over it. We all became friends again. And now they're fucking again, Stav. And I just feel like they either have to just suck it up and date because that's kind of what they're doing. Or, like, she needs to actually be single. And I don't want to be a child of divorce again. Can you help me out? What can I do about this fucking situation? All right. I love you.
Poor girl. This really is. She's completely recreated her childhood.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That happens, though, right?
It totally happens over and over again.
And she's innocent in the situation. So let me get this straight.
Yes.
There was 3 friends hanging out.
3 friends.
Two of them started hooking up. One, and then the woman was married.
She's married.
Separated.
She's about to get divorced.
Okay.
And she's like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the cock.
Yeah.
But we're not dating. At the same time, they basically behaved
dating.
like they were dating.
Okay.
So she fucks somebody else, breaks his heart, and I get that. I see where he's coming from fully, and I see where she's coming from. This is interesting because this is a nice kind of swapping in gender roles where we've got the female dirtbag here. Because she pulled the move that a lot of dickhead guys do, myself in the past included, where you're like, hey, come on. I was clear in my words, but all my behavior said something else.
Yeah.
Like her words could have been clear, but she was like...
But his feelings, she still made him feel...
And she knows the deal too. It's like, look, we're close friends. Like we've been I stay over, all this stuff. I would put the blame a little bit more on her. Just a little bit. Just a pinch. Because he's kind of like he's the one who clearly wants to date her. He's not fucking anybody else, whatever.
But in her defense, she's just probably, because she's coming out of a marriage, just can't.
Fully, no, don't get me wrong. She's right to want to be single.
Yeah.
But she should also know that it's like...
Dial it back.
She fucked up in doing this with a friend.
Yeah.
That's her sin.
Yes.
It's not doing this with another guy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well... this relationship's over, I'll never see you again. But she did it with somebody that she's going to see over and over again. And not only that, our wonderful caller, she's put her in the middle of it because they're all friends and she's in law school. She already wants to kill herself. Best case scenario, she gets a job at a firm that's actively harming the world. That's what she has to look forward to after her friends have, fucked and ruined their nice little fucking little friendship triangle.
Yeah.
Now, can I help you out? I don't know, because the to help you out, it kind of feels like we'd have to put you back in your child of divorce zone, where a child of divorce is always kind of the intermediary, always trying to fix everything. And what I would say if you were trying to fix things is I would talk to both of them. I would talk to the divorced friend and I would say, hey, like, I know you said this, but it is kind of fucked up that you guys are, that you're kind of doing this. And it's like, you should be single. If you want to be single, go do this with other guys that it doesn't affect my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect you. Don't do it with your friends either because it affects your life.
Yeah.
And just, you guys should break this off and you should you're going to have to kind of like set a boundary and stick to it. And then you say to the guy like, hey man, you're going to keep getting hurt. You should stop, you stop doing this.
And also if you're putting yourself through it, can you just be aware? Like it sounds like one of the parts that's the biggest pain in the ass is how miserable the dude was after this went down. And then she should tell the guy like, this is exactly what I went through as a kid.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. What I was gonna say is like that. I would say to have that conversation.
Yeah.
That's what you should do to fix it.
Uh-huh.
But that's just falling deeper into being the child of divorce again.
Exactly. You're right.
So what you have to do is realize that these are two fucking dumbasses, and they're fucking their shit up, and they are being. The only thing I would say that you should do is instead of trying to fix it, do the thing you didn't do in the divorce because you felt like your family was going to fall apart if you advocated for yourself, and say to your friends, hey, this is fucked up. Your weird little relationship is putting me in a really tough position. It's not good for either of you, but just speaking for myself, you have to figure it out because it's fucking my shit up. That's what you do to break yourself of the chains of the like child of divorce shit. It's going to, and look, here's the hard part. That might fuck everything up. And they might get their feelings hurt or whatever. But that's you have to decide whether you need to put yourself ahead of it or you want to like try and keep this dynamic going. Because to keep the dynamic going is to stay in the same pattern. In my opinion. Again, I'm not a fucking therapist. I just know as a person who's tried, like people who have behaved like my father, for example, I cut them out of my life. Like that's what I learned. Whereas like, I'm not going to try and like, appease someone who's kind of behaves the same way. I'm not going to try and like make a dysfunctional situation work, which is kind of what I did in my family. I'm just getting the fuck out of them. Yeah. Right. And I think it's been very successful for me personally. Your situation is a lot different. I'm just saying, reading it from my lens, that's what I would do. Say what you feel. Say how the situation is affecting you. Don't worry about them because that's kid worrying about their parents all over again. And then, leave it up to them to fucking be good bros. And if they're not good bros, then fuck them until they figure it. They'll probably break up and figure it out. And, now I know what you're saying. You're like, fuck, I shouldn't have to also lose my friends potentially because they are sucking and fucking each other. But that's life, baby. What can I tell you?
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. Is she's gonna the two, unless the guy gets over the fact that she slept with someone else, and then the girl wants what the guy wants. If they're not on the same page, it's going to be misery. The Three Musketeer thing is not going to occur again.
Yeah, in fact, it's going to be misery. Like, that's the plain reality.
Unless
they already fucked it up.
They fucked it up.
You can't go back.
You're right. You can't unsuck the cock.
Yeah.
You can't unlick the clit. They're wet. They're both wet. And you can't dry them off no matter how many sham wows you throw at them. So I would just say let your feelings be known, and know that if the relationship gets fucked up, if your cute little troika of friendship gets fucked up, it's not your fault. Like, it wasn't your fault. Your dad sucked off that guy in the park and ruined your family's relationship, or whatever he did or she did, your mom did. So we're rooting for you. We love you, but your friends have fucked you.
Yeah.
And don't take it personally if everything falls apart.
They made a mistake.
They made a big mistake, and you just recognize that it's their fault. Blame them, not yourself. But we're rooting for you. Hopefully there's some miracle where it all comes out good. Next one, LD.
Let's come down to earth a little.
Hey, Stavvy, you magnificent bastard. Big fan of the show, big fan of you for a long time. So here's the deal. I've been seeing this girl, and we've done our thing a few times.
Nice, dude.
But there's a problem, and it's a big problem, but it's big enough to be an issue. Anyway, a little bit about this girl. Perfect body, just sexy all around, but sometimes her breath is just kicking, dude. Like, it's happened a couple times, and I just don't know how to tell her without being an asshole, because I'm, such a sweetheart. So it's hard for me to bring stuff up like that. So I guess the question is how should I bring it up, or should I bring it up at all? Tell her to brush her teeth or something? I don't know. Any advice would be helpful. Thanks, man.
Damn. Okay. Right off the bat, here's a couple things. You say she's hot as shit, perfect body, sexy all around. Now, are you the kind of guy who fucks girls that are that hot? Because if you're not, you just found out the reason you get to fuck her. You know what I mean? Like that. It's like you're mad that you were at the thrift store and the fucking Gucci shirt you found had a little bit of had an ink stain at the bottom. You're an ink stain Gucci shirt kind of guy. You're not a fresh Gucci shirt kind of guy. Are you a 10 with no bad breath? Is that who you are? I don't think so. So part of it might be this is the cost of doing business for fucking somebody this hot at whatever you look like. Now, maybe you're hot. I don't know. Maybe you are the kind of guy who can fuck hot girls, and you still would like to get this breath thing figured out. That's a very tough. Telling somebody how they smell, always a difficult one. Whether it's body odor, whether it's pits, genitalia, mouth, ass, whatever it is, no one wants to hear they stink. I don't know. Bad breath. You could try modeling toothbrushing with her, like you do with a little kid. Like, whoa, isn't this cool?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I got you this. Oh, here, already here it is. My job was giving away these Sonicare toothbrushes. I snagged us a couple. Why don't we try them out? That's what it is. You can't buy it for her, but if it was a giveaway, if it was a raffle you won, now we're thinking, oh my God, my job at this silent auction, I just got a free session with a fucking dentist. I just got a free session with a fucking, I don't know, what's the mouth guy? Is there a specific breath guy? Ear, nose, and throat doctor?
She could have it could be a medical problem, right?
Could be a fucked up dead tooth, something like that.
Or there's some, I don't know. I don't think you can, you could one time before you sleep together, have one of those breath spray things and just go, and maybe she's like, oh, can I have some of that? But you can't do that every time.
Yeah. Or you could go the other way, start eating shit. Start whatever it is. You get bad breath. Give her a little fucking taste of her own medicine. Let her say something. And then you're like, why don't we both work on this? But yeah, how rocking are we talking? I've never experienced really super bad breath, knock on wood.
I've experienced it, but never with someone I'm dating. I've there's certain people have, because there's a medical condition, right? Halitosis.
Halitosis, exactly. So maybe she has a fucked up, some kind of medical condition. I have known a hot girl with halitosis actually, and she was really not self-conscious, but she treated it like it was a medical thing, and she had these lozenges. She was a big, mint, gum person. Yeah. But how to actually bring it up with no joke answer? Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. I think your answer about because it's probably beyond, I'm sure she brushes her teeth.
Who knows?
This is a problematic. This
is hard to, I feel like this is something you could bring up, but it's hard. It sounds like they haven't been going out that long.
Yeah.
So, How are you gonna bring that up to someone you've been seeing for like 3 months? Like,
you got to befriend like a fucking mouth doctor. And bring him around, or her.
Get her on the operating table,
or her. And kind of, because there's something really cool when you see. Has it ever happened to you when you see like a doctor just at a bar, and you're like, oh, my fucking shoulder hurts, and they like touch it, and they basically give you free. Doctor advice. Nothing feels better than that.
No, Chris DiStefano was a
PT, physical therapist.
Physical therapist. And I have grilled him so many times on shit.
Yeah. So, honestly, fucking do a little research. Talk to somebody.
That's not bad. I bet you if you Googled
causes of bad breath, hot women.
And how to tell some, maybe there is a way. I can't see saying that, it would just be really hurtful. And then so embarrassing because it means it's gone on in the past.
Yeah.
That would be what would, I feel like they think back, they'd be like, oh my God, my breast's been bad all this time.
Yeah, I wonder, so he barely knows her, right? He says they've gone out a few times. So this is also tough because it's a tough thing to bring up early. I would say this is a tough, I'm all for direct communication, right?
Yeah.
But I think you got to give something like this a couple months.
Yeah.
You got to think that you're actually going to date for real before you bring this up. Or the other side, if it just becomes a hookup, I feel like there's something really freeing when two people know they're never going to date, and you can just kind of speak to each other the way you think you should.
You can be like, punch me in the face.
Yeah. Like, damn, bitch, your breath is kicking.
And your dad's banging the reception.
Yeah. You pull your dick out, and you're like, you gotta get that figured out. There is something really nice about those relationships where it's like you both know it's just about sex. It is fun. You can become real friends with people that way, I think.
But
yeah, he's in the weird zone right now.
Even if your friend, like, I wouldn't want to tell my friend they have bad breath.
I'll tell my friend they have
really.
If Eldis' breath was rocking, I would relish the opportunity to be like, "The fuck is that? Did you suck your fucking dad's dick? It smells like my ass in here." That's why I guess that means your dad fucked my ass. Damn, that's sometimes going off the top of the dome is a problem, but. And he liked it, but I hated it, by the way.
I'm like, I just forget it's about my breath.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop talking about.
You're like, well, anyways, thanks for the Sonicare.
Fuck. All right. Good luck, buddy. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Sorry,
either try our little Sonicare tricks, befriend the doctor, do a little research, or when it settles a little bit and it feels like it's something, bring it up gently. And you could even say, I used to have this problem, or I knew someone, who had
my dog growing up.
My dog. You smell exactly like
Chester.
After my dog ate his own diarrhea. That's what it tastes like to kiss you.
No, you gotta be delicate. Don't hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah. He's fucking her with one of those, like, what a swimmer puts on his nose.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got back from the pool. I'd rather stay.
I'm so horny.
I'm so horny. I can't take. He's got the cap on and the goggles.
The snorkel.
All right, the cap can go, but that's it. Hit us with our finale, Eldis.
Hey, Stav. So during COVID, I was fucking this fat chick, and like.
Nice.
She and I kind of had history, but like we never like done anything. And then during COVID, we were both bored and like started fucking. And now she's like lost a bunch of weight. Like she goes to cycling class all the time, and like I kind of want to start fucking her again, but I'm afraid she's out of my league now. What should like we ended on good terms. Like I want her back. What should we do? All right, thanks.
She is.
Yeah, 100%. She's so out of your league. She is really out of your league.
Oh my God. I was fucking this fat bitch because I was constrained to a 2-block radius of my house. But now she's lost weight, and I value her even in regular life. like a human being, and I'm thinking maybe I could get pussy from her.
Good Lord.
Yeah, dude. Look, let this be a lesson to you. First of all, and you guys just stopped. We had a history, but like we never done anything. What's interesting is it's very possible that this woman feels the exact same way about him.
Yeah.
Like you think you bestowed your cock upon a plus size girl, but we never did anything. Maybe she was like, there's that dumbass hot Mike, but he's a fucking dickhead. But
or he was the reason that she was like, what am I doing? I gotta get my health in order. Why am I fucking Mike?
Fucking Mike?
I'm letting this guy raw me? I gotta fucking eat vegetables.
Yeah. There's no way she's like, I'm sleeping with this guy. He's got the sparkling personality. He's got the cutest nickname for me. Good Lord, Michael.
So yeah, dude. I mean, she is out of your league. Now you say we ended on good terms. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing. You don't think she's getting this left and right now? Yeah, come on, dude. You're the guy who's like, you're trying to like Star Wars. You just realized Star Wars came out and you haven't even been in line trying to get tickets. You're going to have to wait a while if you're ever going to you're going to see you're not seeing it opening night. A fat person losing weight is not trying to retread dick. You know what I'm saying? If I lost a bunch of weight, maybe I would try and fuck a couple of the insanely hot girls I was lucky enough to fuck. Maybe I'd be like, this is my way to get back in with them. But I'm not. The price is going up. I'm trying to fuck even hotter girls. Actually, that's not true. I'd fuck a lot of the girls I fucked before. But that's just me. I'm what can I say?
Loyal.
I'm a loyal guy.
Good guy.
I'm a fucking good guy. What can I say? But for a woman who a bunch of fucking dumbasses like you were like, who in a bunch of guys' heads, they're like, oh yeah, that cool fat girl I fucked. Not Stacy. You know what I mean? Like her price has gone up. She's not, I would avoid this. You're going to embarrass yourself, or you're going to, bring this woman out of the progress she's made and bring her back to her old life. Now, if we had to give you advice on how to go about this, I really don't know. I just think you're fucked.
I don't like your verbiage.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think what you said is exactly right.
Yeah. She's not trying to come back through the fucking...
When someone does anything, like, fitness is a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, whatever. Anyone improves himself in any way, right? You work on your career. You try and make a lot of money. You try and gain, you try and get ripped. You try and lose weight. You try and whatever. Any progress, you're trying to upgrade everything in your life, including the dumbasses you let fuck you while everyone's watching Tiger King. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're out, bro. That's what that's what I think. But, and you don't sound that charming. you don't seem that sauced up, but who knows?
It's hard to give someone advice. If he was like now, or I don't know.
No, it's true, because he's like, I kind of want to fuck her again. Like, he's not like, I think I really liked her.
Yeah,
and this helped me realize this.
Really like, yeah,
which is not. He just wants a piece.
Not. We just made it. Yeah, no.
We're giving him more credit than he deserves.
Yeah,
and I get. Look, I understand. Like, I'd like to fuck a lot of the people I fucked before. If a girl I fucked before gets a new haircut, I want to fuck her. Let alone if she lost a bunch of weight, or got breast implants or something cool, or gained a bunch of weight and her titties are looking awesome and her ass is looking fucking right. If a girl makes any kind of change that I had a good sex life with, I just want to try to fuck that version of her. Personally,
I get that. Or you still have feelings for the person.
Whatever. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Even if they're not like.
But it's not going to work for you. And honestly, I'm rooting against you. I want better for this woman than to fuck you again.
And also, sometimes you recognize that it's not the best for the other person to continue, even if you get whatever. So I think you were right when you said it's not in her best interest to go back and have sleep with this guy.
Yeah.
So just to put some goodwill into the universe, this dude should just let her ride off into the sunset.
Absolutely. Or let her reject you, and really that's like her final test. Is can she? Maybe you owe it to her to try and fuck her. Now that I think about it, because if she rejects you, then she's really learned something. And if she doesn't, you should not fuck her. That would take a lot of. That would be a real good Samaritan. But you're not that kind of guy. But
Maybe he should take the lesson. Just hit the gym himself. He's
That's
I'm
true.
going to upgrade myself now too.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's more than just a couple push-ups going on here.
Yeah. There's a lot. And he probably doesn't have time to improve his personality to the level we need him to. He's probably set. He can work on the margins.
Maybe he sent this and thought, wow, I didn't word that as eloquently as I would have.
It's possible. It's possible. But hey, let us know what happened.
Yeah. And whatever, it sounds beautiful.
It sounds like a beautiful love story. Yeah. So, good luck. We hope you don't succeed for her sake. That's going to do it for the show, everyone. Thank you for listening. 904-800-STAV. Subscribe to the Patreon. Follow our regular shit if we're on the Patreon. We don't know yet. We record these a long time in the future, and we're not very organized. But go see Phil.
Please.
Watch his special.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow him on Instagram. We're gonna have little clips of beautiful moments. Follow him, you'll see him. And that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Dude, what a